Welcome to the next lesson on feelings and emotions. We will talk about these words in this lesson: wind up, work up, pull it together, and break down. Let's go over these phrases together. Wind up or work up. This word is not wind, it's wind. So wind up or work up. That means to get very excited, feel upset, worried, or stressed about something, or to finally do something or to finish an activity. So if I'm worked up about something, I'm getting very excited. If I'm wound up about something, we'll change to past tense, wind, and we'll change to wound up. It can mean to feel upset, worried, or stressed, or worked up. But wind up also goes with number 3. Wind up doesn't really go with number 1 and 2 as much as number 3, and work up is more for number 1 and 2. But wind up, we could say to finally finish something. So I wound up taking an English class, or I wound up finding this course I wanted to take. So that's wind up and work up. Let's look at some examples. The kids were all wound up after eating cookies and candy at the party. And we might use it that way too, for some excitement. They're excited. They were running around. We could say they were worked up too, but this one, they are wound up for children. They get excited. Number 2, he got worked up over getting a parking ticket. So maybe he was very upset or angry. He got worked up over getting a parking ticket. And another definition, wind up, is, like I mentioned in the third one above, is to finally do something or finish an activity. So here it's the excitement one, here it's the upset or excited one. But that third definition is to finally do something or finish an activity. Let's look at some more examples. Actually, here, I gave you another example here. Did you wind up going to the store after work? She wound up getting a coffee for her coworkers. So that's the example for wind up. Did you wind up going to the store after work? She wound up getting a coffee for her coworkers. And if we're talking about coffee, in a future lesson, I think lesson 5, we'll talk about how to order coffee at a Starbucks and use English related to that. So here's another practice. She got wound up over the holiday season coming up. So she's excited. Listen and repeat. She got wound up over the holiday season coming up. And when you have a job and you get time off of work, they say paid time off. So maybe she got an email saying, hey, you get 2 weeks of paid time off in December. She might get wound up about it, which is the past tense of wind up, wound up. This is an ow sound. This is an I sound. Ow. But paid time off means when you receive income for days you are not at work. This is an added benefit with some jobs, and you receive this after working a specific amount of days throughout the year. So it's very, very good to get paid time off. To have a job that does this is great. So she's wound up about it. Another example is they got worked up over not finishing a project deadline for one of their clients. Listen and repeat. They got worked up over not finishing a project deadline for one of their clients. And a deadline means a specific day or time when a task or assignment is due. Needs to be finished. Due means needs to be finished at that specific day and time is a deadline. And so they were all maybe upset and a little frustrated. They got worked up because they didn't finish their project that they're looking at. So that's just an example. The next word is pull it together. That means to organize or have control of your feelings and emotions. To organize or have control of your feelings and emotions. So if you're feeling stressed, worried about many different things, you have lots of things coming your way, somebody might come to you and say, hey, pull it together. It means try to figure out how to keep going. But here's an example. After dealing with many problems, she decided to pull herself together. He pulled himself together after several job interviews. And so maybe after all those interviews, he didn't get a job. So he finally pulled himself together and kept going. And she had many problems. So she decided later to pull herself together and get through her problems. And so in the huddle, the quarterback told them to pull it together. So the Denver Broncos, an American football team that I like, they have to pull it together. They maybe make some mistakes when playing the game, and they need to pull it together. If they're losing, they need to think of new ways to pull it together. And a quarterback is an American football player who makes decisions, holds, and throws an American-style football. So this guy here would be the quarterback, and he would say, okay, we need to go here, here, and here. He would tell everyone this, then they would make this play. And that's some American football example. They need to pull it together to win the game. Another example of pull it together, the little boy pulled himself together after his building blocks broke. Listen and repeat. The little boy pulled himself together after his building blocks broke. And here we can say building blocks broke. We have 3 B sounds for pronunciation. Building blocks broke. This L sound, you take your tongue and put at the top of your teeth and go l, blocks. And then this one is an R sound, it's You keep your tongue behind your teeth and go back. Broke. So those are the pronunciation sounds for these. Building blocks broke. And to focus on our vocabulary, pull it together. He had to pull himself together and build the blocks again. Next one is break down. And that's a verb here. It means to feel overwhelmed or hurt emotionally, to stop working, operating, or functioning. And it means break down. It can be a noun, which is an overwhelming feeling that causes you to mentally, physically, or emotionally feel unable to continue in a situation. So we could say he had a nervous breakdown, or I felt very sad and I had a breakdown. So it'll be used as a noun or an object. I had a breakdown. But to break down is number 1 and 2, the action, our verb form, and that's to feel overwhelmed or hurt, or to stop working, operating, or functioning. Let's look at some examples. Breakdown. He broke down after losing his job. Listen and repeat. He broke down after losing his job. Then he applied for new jobs while starting his dream business. So even though he's sad, he has a new opportunity. So listen and repeat. Then he applied for new jobs while starting his dream business. Another example for breakdown. She broke down after a long week working with the kids. And if you look here, break is present tense, broke is past. So listen and repeat. She broke down after a long week working with the kids. Okay. Then she hugged her kids and had a better day. So we'll focus on the positive too. Listen and repeat. Then she hugged her kids and had a better day. Another example for breakdown. A school bus or a car or engine can break down. The children missed the bus because it broke down. Listen and repeat. The children missed the bus because it broke down. And broke down in this situation is not emotional. It's more about the machine operating. It's not functioning. It's not working. A cell phone can break down too. Anything with electronics or engines can break down. Like my computer broke down, my cell phone broke down, my car broke down. And we often say in the past tense because it's after the action has occurred. Okay, that's our lesson for this video. In the next video, we will talk about freak out, stress out, hope for, delight, and revel in. I'll see you in the next video lesson.